Hey guys, welcome to the lesson on the Weis Wave Volume Indicator. So just to summarise, last lesson we looked into the MACD under a microscope. We looked at the three core major principles, we looked at the calculations behind it, and we took a look at some of the more common and most important signals that it can provide us as traders in terms of detection of a trend's change in direction and of the overall duration as well. Now this lesson is going to be focused all around the Weis Wave Indicator. Now it's based on volume, so let's get stuck into it. So guys, the Weis Wave Volume Indicator is really an alteration of a much broader number of volume indicators in the market. Now, volume indicators in general, they've actually been around for a really long time. Probably one of the oldest and arguably one of the most popular types of indicator in technical analysis. Now, the volume indicator, by very definition in general, measures a previous period of price action, whichever period the trader decides to go for. And it measures higher and lower numbers of volume in the market. It does just what it says on the packet. Now, the Weis Wave Volume Indicator actually works slightly different. I mean, it's very much the same, but it's a lot more simple in terms of the actual coding behind it that goes into it, as opposed to the MACD or the squeeze momentum, previous examples that we've had a look through. Now, the Weis Wave Volume Indicator, it really reads volumes in the market. It takes data, it takes the volume in the market, and it presents it in the format of a wave chart on your screen. Now, we're going to go into a visualization of it in a moment, along with price action, as we have done with the previous two examples of the indicators that we've learnt all about. But for now, just imagine that it's a wave chart. You've got single histograms, and it is a measurement of the volume in the market. Now, there's certain settings, such as trend detection length, that I personally have set down very low. And what that does is that molds for each individual histogram, the smaller waves, so to speak, into one. So you don't get frequent and volatile wave patterns. But we're going to go into those two things in a moment, because I know without a visualization it can sound quite confusing. So with that being said, let's take a look. So guys, behind me I've got the visualization of the Weis Wave Volume Indicator and what it's going to look like when we set it up with my settings. Now, your volume indicator, when you first open it up, it might look a little bit different, simply because you might have a lot more volatile wave charts here. Okay, so this is the wave chart. Okay, these single histograms here, this is what the waves are, okay, and the Weis Wave Volume Indicator. Now, I've got mine consolidated, and what I mean by that is each one of these individual histograms is made up of several of the indicator's original histograms. Because I've changed my settings, I like looking at it a little bit more consolidated, so I don't see, let's say, mess. I don't have a messy chart. Now, the one that you guys are going to get to immediately when you open yours up, it might look a little bit different, but like I said, don't worry, because we'll go into all the settings about which on the indicators at the end of the guide, and you guys will be provided with everything there. So don't worry about that at this stage. So as we can see here with the Weis Wave Volume Indicator, we have a very good relationship with what is happening with the price action. Now, I've done the exact same example of price action that I've been using the last two videos, so as not to go into any confusion with you. So here we go. We've got the wave up. We've got more and more volume in the market. Volume's growing. Price is going to the upside. Get to the top. Bang. We've got the very beginning of the downward pressure. Okay. Now, unlike the squeeze momentum indicator and the MACD, the histograms are only facing up on the Weis Wave Volume Indicator. Okay, just something worth noting. But here we've got the wave down, so we have the wave up here, the power, but in the red, and then we have the green, and so on, to match what we are seeing in the price action above. Now, there's two major things that the Weis Wave Volume Indicator does. The first is it's very good at highlighting inflection points in price action, and the second is looking at supply and demand in price. Now, what I mean by supply and demand is I mean the highs and the lowest price. Okay, so I know if we're starting here at this area in the Weis Wave Volume Indicator, we could potentially be looking at a turning point in the market, and we could be looking at the start of an overall downward trend to the downside. So straight away, guys, you'll see a pattern here. Okay, because in the last two videos now, we've been looking at turning points, optimal execution for our trade entry setups. That's what we're trying to do here. And that is what the strategy is really focused about. Trying to get the optimal trade entry to anticipate when the turning points in the market are going to take place. So we're not entering into the trade at the end of the trend. So this is exactly what the Weis Wave Volume indicator is telling us. Okay, so every single time you see a fresh histogram on the Weis Wave Volume indicator, we are looking at a potential turning point in the market, and we are able to use this consistently and successfully to anticipate where a turning point could be coming through. Now, bearing in mind, time frames, things like that, trading off of a 15-minute chart or 5-minute chart, 1-minute chart, or 2 weekly and monthly charts doesn't really make too much of a difference here. Now, areas of concern might be around consolidatory markets, where you could get examples of a green followed by a red followed by a green and so on. So you could get a little bit of divergence there, which we will come to again in a later video. But that happens across all of the indicators simply because of the fact that it is always drawing data from previous price action. But the three indicators that I've got and I've been working on and put together for the strategy that I've got in place here for you guys that I use every single day is the fact that all three of them are trying to tell us something, where the turning point in the market is going to be. So on that note, I think we are going to be ready soon enough to take a look at having them all put together and getting that triple confirmation and what we are already seeing in price action. So guys, I'm pretty much going to wrap this up there. That is the third and final installment on the indicators section of the trading material. I really hope you guys have enjoyed it so far. I know that once we get this stuff together, it's all going to click in and make sense, and I can't wait to do so. So I look forward to seeing you in the next video, guys. Take care.